Hello, everyone. We begin tonight with a verdict in a landmark class action lawsuit against Pacific Power for the 2020 Labor Day wildfires. A group of plaintiffs sued the power company for starting wildfires and destroying the evidence. Thank you for joining us. I'm Laurel Porter.
And I'm David Molko. Today, a Multnomah County jury found that Pacific Power was both negligent and reckless and should be held financially liable. Our Evan Watson has been all over this case for the last 7 weeks. So, Evan, what does this verdict translate to when it comes to a payout for people who lost so much?
Well, David, the plaintiffs in this case will get more than $70 million collectively for property damage and emotional distress. But this trial doesn't stop there. The jury will now decide on punitive damages in this class action case, money that's intended to prevent something like this from happening again.
Thousands of Oregonians have looked forward to today, and today will never be forgotten by the survivors of Pacific Corp's fires.
A group of 17 plaintiffs and their attorneys thankful for a Multnomah County jury's verdict on Monday. The jury decided that Pacific Power is liable for 4 wildfires that ravaged Oregon in 2020, the Santiam Canyon, Echo Mountain, South Obanchain, and 242 fires. Even defense attorney Doug Dixon recognized the jury's decision.
Your verdict this morning in phase 1 of the trial has sent a very clear message that Pacific Power is responsible for starting fires that destroyed plaintiffs' homes and disrupted their lives on Labor Day 2020.
The plaintiffs will receive more than $70 million collectively for property damage and emotional distress. But the case doesn't stop there.
The damages you have allowed in the first phase are significant. They're a lot and they're life-changing. But not to a company like Pacific Corp. Not to a company that makes nearly $1 billion a year. That's why we have punitive damages.
The jury is now listening to testimony on the topic of punitive damages, which could prove to be even more costly to Pacific Power. The company's defense attorneys say the bar is higher for punitive damages, and Pacific Power doesn't need to pay up to be accountable. It's already improving its wildfire mitigation practices.
And is imposing punitive damages necessary to deter such conduct in the future when Pacific Power continues to make good on a host of improvements, many of which were planned long before Labor Day 2020?
The past 7 weeks of trial have been packed with testimony, with plaintiffs' attorneys arguing that power lines started fires and Pacific Power destroyed the evidence. Defense attorneys said the company shouldn't be held responsible for climate change, and preventative power shutoffs were rare at the time. The jury's verdict could set precedent for power companies and their future liability for wildfires when given notice of dangerous windstorms.
Tell them they must accept responsibility for what happened. They need to be accountable for what happened. This cannot happen again.
Pacific Power did release a statement today saying the company plans to pursue appeals and, quote, "We are confident we will prevail." The company also said regardless of the outcome, a trial will never fully restore what was lost in the wildfires. Plaintiffs said they will wait to talk about the verdict until after the trial finishes.
And we'll see what the jury decides, what message they decide to send in this next phase. Thank you, Evan. Well, speaking of fire prevention efforts, Multnomah County will phase in a summer burn ban starting this Friday. This is the first phase, is a backyard burn ban. That's followed by an end to agricultural burning and permitted open burning after June 30th. A total burn ban starts July 6th. That includes campfires and fire pits. Keep in mind these dates can still change depending on conditions. Meanwhile, across the Columbia, the fire marshal is lifting a burn ban in unincorporated Clark County that is effective tonight at midnight. This ban covers outdoor debris burning and recreational fires. The fire marshal says rain and moderate temperatures in the forecast mean it can be lifted, though he is still urging caution.
Frightening moments at what's supposed to be one of the best family events in Portland. A man drove his pickup truck through 2 barricades at the Rose Festival Grand Floral Parade on Saturday morning. Miraculously, no one was hurt, but witnesses say he veered toward families, almost hitting them. Blair Best is outside the courthouse in downtown Portland, where he made his first appearance for those charges. Blair, what more can you tell us about what happened?
Laurel, 42-year-old Sidney Mika made his first court appearance about 2 hours ago, and he pled not guilty, saying that he was disoriented while driving recklessly through the Grand Floral Parade. He now faces several criminal charges. This video shows the moment Sidney Sean Meacham drove his pickup truck through a closed route of the Grand Floral Parade around 10 Saturday morning. Portland police chased Meacham as he sped down Northeast Wilder Street. Police made several attempts to stop him, but he refused. Meacham then drove directly toward families sitting on a curb, but didn't hit them. Arif Muhammad Ali was there with his wife and 2 kids.
We would have been the first victim that he would have hit.
Police eventually caught up with Meacham and arrested him.
Is this guy going for a rampage? Is he going to be killing families, at the parade, or is he just angry at the blockage, or what's going on?
Page 18, line 2, last name Mecca.
He made his first court appearance Monday afternoon. He now faces several criminal charges, including reckless driving and eluding an officer. Court documents show Meacham is from Portland and has been in and out of prison and juvenile detention since he was 15 on sex abuse convictions against minors. His most recent charges are 6 counts of sex abuse of a minor. That 2021 case is still working its way through the court. It's still unclear, though, what his motive was for speeding through the parade route.
I know it's pretty scary. It definitely makes me doubt what we're going to be doing, in the future. Are we going to be continuing attending these parades and events in the city, or are we going to just stay home, watch it on TV?
Now, Meacham is due back in court tomorrow morning, and Portland police are still looking to talk with anyone who may have witnessed what happened over the weekend. David, Laurel.
Blair Best reporting downtown. Thank you, Blair. The man who tried to kidnap a woman at the Oregon Zoo and threatened to kill her young children has now died in prison. 66-year-old Jerry Ryder was serving his sentence at the Eastern Oregon Correctional Institute in Pendleton. Back in 2006, Ryder held the woman at knife point in the zoo parking lot. She was able to fight him off with help from others who tackled him. Ryder had also been previously convicted for rape in 1974. The medical examiner will determine his cause of death.
It's been a month since a big sinkhole opened up in Portland's Mount Tabor neighborhood, and there's still no timeline for when it will be repaired. This happened back on May 12th at Southeast 76th and Yamhill. We reached out to PBOP for an update. The city says it's taking longer to fix the hole because of supply chain issues, and they don't have the materials on hand to do the work.
That is not good news. Well, it sounds like something straight out of a Hollywood thriller. A Southern Oregon home rigged up with barricades and booby traps, including this, a hot tub turned on its side like a giant wheel, ready to roll over anybody who came too close. Investigative reporter Kylie Boshi is in the newsroom with an up-close look at the evidence in this unusual case. Kyle.
Earlier this month, a federal jury in Southern Oregon convicted 71-year-old Gregory Rodvelt of multiple crimes after booby-trapping a home. An FBI bomb technician was injured in the 2018 incident. After the guilty verdict, we requested copies of courtroom exhibits, including photos and videos of the scene. Deep in the Southern Oregon woods, police and the FBI found a home rigged with hidden danger, including booby traps, barricades, and tripwires. The rural property even had a round hot tub turned on its side, designed to flatten anyone who approached, said prosecutors, much like a scene from the movie Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Earlier this month, a federal jury convicted the man who crafted these makeshift weapons. 71-year-old Gregory Rodvelt was convicted of multiple crimes. Now, for the first time, we're able to see photos and video presented at trial. Rodvelt had lost his home in a lawsuit, and after learning it would be sold, federal prosecutors say he set up a maze of booby traps. When law enforcement arrived on September 7, 2018, they found a minivan blocking the gate, steel animal traps hidden under the hood. They also found homemade spike strips along the long gravel driveway. A sign warned, "Property is protected by improvised munitions." The hot tub was rigged to roll down a hill if anyone opened the gate. Police and the FBI used an explosive charge to breach the front door. No one was inside the home. While entering, investigators bumped a wheelchair. It triggered a homemade shotgun device, striking an FBI bomb tech in the leg. He was treated at the hospital and released. A closer look revealed the booby trap used fishing line as a tripwire, which set off a mousetrap triggering a shotgun shell. Federal agents later recreated the homemade weapon to see how it worked and the damage that could be done. Rodvelt was later arrested in Arizona, where he spoke with police.
people are correct, then, and the property has changed hands, I don't want anybody else getting hurt.
Rodvelt faces up to 20 years in prison after setting up a tangle of barricades and booby traps that wounded an FBI bomb technician. Rodvelt has been involved in a series of violent incidents, including domestic abuse, according to public records. In 2017, Rodvelt made headlines for barricading himself inside an SUV with a gun and refusing to leave an Arizona highway. Sentencing in the Oregon case is scheduled for October.
What an elaborate setup. That is unbelievable. Thank you, Kyle.